Hi, I'm Jackie Hill, Fast Forward Therapist, and I've decided to do a series of short videos to help people stop smoking. Now, I'm a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, and I've worked with smokers for many years. But there's a reason why I'm running these short videos to help you, is because of my own personal experience. Now, my sister had lung cancer as a result of smoking, and she had to go into hospital and she had to have a lung removed. Now, things didn't go well for her and she very nearly died. And as you can imagine, that was very traumatic for us all as a family and for her. But fortunately, she did come through it okay, and she's been well now for many years afterwards, about 2 or 3 years afterwards. Now, I didn't like watching my sister go through, and I didn't like that experience that we all had. And I don't want anyone to go through what we all did as a family. And so what I want to do is get across to you in these videos a series of free tips. Each day or each video I'm going to present to you a new tip on how you can stop smoking and not have to go through what we went through. Now, my first tip for today is dealing with those thoughts that lead to craving for a cigarette. Now, most of my customers have said to me one of the things that they found really hard in those first few days was actually that they couldn't stop thinking about having a cigarette. It invaded their mind, these intrusive thoughts all the time. When they were perhaps doing something else, this thought would just come into their head that they needed to have a cigarette. And I found that the main reason why, when they talked about how they failed in the past, was because they allowed these thoughts to keep coming. They kept pushing them away, pushing them back into their mind, and just working all the harder on trying to think about something else. Now, there's two things going on here. One is that they're trying, and when you try, you're really giving yourself permission to fail. So that's another tip for another day, but I'll go into a bit more detail. But that's one thing. And the second thing is the pushing the thought away. When you push a thought away, what happens is it comes back up again, and probably even with more power than what it did the first time. So the more you're pushing these thoughts away about having a cigarette, the more powerful they become and the more frequent they get. I always relate it to this story of a bit like burying a man alive. You bury a man alive, and what does he do? He keeps trying to scratch and scrape to get back up at the surface. And that's a bit like these thoughts. You're pushing them away back into the subconscious, but there they are, they're scratching to come back up to the surface and into your conscious mind. So instead of pushing them away, allow the thought to come into your mind. You don't have to dwell on it, you just allow the thought to come into your mind for a few moments. And then release it and let it go. And replace the next thought in your mind with a thought of how you'd feel as a non-smoker. Now, I'm going to talk a bit about visualisation, and one of the things that you can do is visualise yourself and imagine yourself in the future as a non-smoker, and really get into that visualisation as though it's happening now in the moment. And almost like create an image that you can hold in your mind that symbolises all the feelings that you feel as a non-smoker. It may be something like sitting outside of a bar when other people are offering you cigarettes and you're saying, no thank you, I don't do that anymore. It can be walking past the tobacconist. Any kind of image that is actually a positive image for you, where you feel powerful and how you feel and how great it feels that you don't need to have a cigarette anymore. And that's the image that you replace the one that's pushing through. So you allow that first thought, the negative thought, the craving thought, the thought about I must have a cigarette, to come into your mind, and then you release it. And then immediately bring forth that image that you have as a successful non-smoker to replace it. The more you get into doing this, the more easier it becomes. And I would really urge you that that is one of the best ways of dealing with those intrusive thoughts. Pushing them away doesn't work. Try this and see. I'm Jackie Hill, Fast Forward Therapist. Any questions that you have, any obstacles that you're encountering in your walk, in your program of giving up smoking, just put a comment on the comment section below here, and I'll try and answer your questions. And I look forward to giving you more information. Or you can come to me on my website at www.fastforwardtherapist.co.uk. Until the next time, take care. Bye for now.